I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy. You are my enemy. I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy. You are my enemy. I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy. You are my enemy. I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy.
Hello and welcome back to Podcast with Neil on Netflix Football, the final game of club football season. Nothing bigger than the prize at stake, UEFA Champions League final between two Premier League clubs. By the way, La Liga fans, not your day tonight, not going to be on night tonight as well. Between Manchester City and Chelsea, two of the elites of the Premier League clashing it in a one-off winner takes all final. So with me, we have. But before I introduce the guests on screen, just want to say thank you to all of you. Started podcast with Neil late in December, and it's been so much of support and love from you guys. I love you all, and I would cherish to bring you more tactical stuff, more podcasts with Neil in all the seasons to come. So let's bring on the panelists tonight. Okay. To my left is Pranav, the Chelsea fan wearing his first ever Chelsea kit. To my right is the stats guy, Mr. Saurav Bose, who heads Armband, by the way. Beneath me, two Manchester City fans, familiar faces, Shanmuga and Obrodipta. Welcome all of you. Welcome all of you to Podcast with Neil, the first and the last of the season, the first final, USCL final, and the last of the season. So I'll start with Pranav actually. Pranav, how are the nerves? Since morning. I can see it by your face, man.
Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm really superstitious, and like I mentioned earlier, first Chelsea kit, and I've got my Chelsea scarf. I'm gonna say the same song before the final, like I said before the 2012 final. I'm really buzzed. I'm excited. For a Chelsea fan, we're confident that we've been here before, and I think we can pull it through. Um, I read somewhere where back in 2012 there are a couple of coincidences, and now in 2021 also there are a couple of coincidences that match. So I'm hoping that we win the final. Like I'm really hoping that we win the final. It is really tough. It is really I'm really nervous for it, and it's setting in. I think coming closer to 12:30, it'll really hit me then.
Absolutely. Obradip, I'll go to you saying this that this is Manchester City's first UEFA Champions League final. And the stats, as Pranav were saying, that the debutants there were three debutants, as Shanmuga mentioned before the podcast in the lobby, that Spurs, PSG, and now Man City in the final. So, bit of mixed feelings about going into this part of the competition. That's fresh legs for you.
Yeah, like honestly, I think no pressure. It's like first time in the finals, maybe not the last time, like the way they are going. So yeah, like it's no pressure, nothing to lose. I suppose because anyways, if they win, they will come off like if you spend 1 billion for a team, anyone can win the Champions League. And if they lose, they will be like, okay, 1 billion cannot win your Champions League. It's fine. It's like it's a daily saga that it's going on. It's fine. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. But I think what as a record, if maybe I'm wrong, but Porto and Monaco was the first timers when they clashed, and Porto won actually. So it's
Mhm.
not like the first timers always lose. They might win sometime. So let's see.
Simran, thank you to join us. Simran and Sherry had a reunion in the comments box. Yusuf had a question. I'll bring it up later. Shoptik is back. Said that could we see a Aguero in the lineup tonight? Maybe later in the game. We never know with the Pep Guardiola lineup. We'll just have to wait it out till the end of the show when the lineups are actually introduced. Shanmuga, I'll go to you. Shanmuga, again, would you agree with what Obradip has just said right now about that? If Manchester City win, it's all like anyone can win the league spending 1 billion, but if you lose, who says Pep Guardiola can win after spending 1 billion? It's a juggernaut, isn't it, that you guys have to deal with, Shanmuga?
It's 2021 and people still bring that kind of a logic. No, I just laugh it off these days. again, I hear such things, but like you said, there will be haters. When you are a successful team, the haters will be there, and there will always be people who says that you have been successful because of this, and you have not been successful despite because of whatever you are doing right now. So apart from the investment, which we are very grateful for, we have done exceptionally well. I don't think we have put any foot wrong so far in like what like 13 years of new investment came in, and we have grown the fastest, I would believe. So
Absolutely.
this final is a huge step. This is the first final, and this is a huge step. Even if we lose, we will go again next season for sure. But I don't want us to lose. I don't know, man. I'm
Absolutely.
scary.
A lot of Chelsea fans in the chat. Minal says Timo, should Timo start? We'll have a discussion about that. Shomo says Chelsea, 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 Chelsea all the way. Keep the blue flag flying high. As a Manchester United fan, tough to see Chelsea and Manchester City, but kya kare? Better footballing sides have reached there on their own merit. So congratulations to them. Sort of, let's start the discussion with you tonight. No formalities for you. So I have the slide. The first slide that I have is something that you're going to cherish. Is this? So the battle of the masterminds is the final showdown that we have. Two tactical geniuses. Sort of, I'll ask you this: how impressed have you been by Thomas Tuchel, who took over midway? And we'll have Yusuf's question that he put in. That the question for Saurav. He says that if Chelsea win the Champions League, how much would you thank Frank Lampard for the signings that he did? Sort of, your stage.
Okay, so for the first part, of course, every Chelsea fan has been impressed with the work Thomas Tuchel has done, and it's more like it's not only about like the way we played football, but also the way he managed the dressing room. Because when he came in, the dressing room was divided, and there were so many talks like some players went behind the manager's back to the board members, and then they played a part in Lampard getting sacked. So the fans were back then furious, and the first thing Thomas Tuchel did after joining was to uh, like keep the group. He played Alonso in his second game in the management, which whereas Lampard just froze Alonso out, and Rudiger was also not in his plans in Lampard's plan. Giroud was also not in Lampard's plan. So and Thomas Tuchel came in, he played Giroud in the first game, and now when we see the group, like the Chelsea group as a whole, we see that there is much more chemistry and much more bonding. Say, for example, Emerson is a player who isn't playing. Emerson cannot play as a left wing back because of his lack of aerial ability, and of course, Chilwell and Alonso are better options in that position, and also he cannot play as a left center back because of the physicality. So, but if you look at Emerson, he came on as a substitute in the Atletico game in the second leg, and then he scored the winner. So these are the kind of things where he has given everyone opportunities. Even sometimes players came through the academies. We thought that as Lampard was sacked, those players will not get a lot of chances, but he gave also Billy Gilmore a lot of chances, and a player that won our academy player of the year, Tino. He's a right wing back, and he's also training with the first team. Angelini is also playing with the training with the first team. So it looks like that from next season onwards, he will give youngsters a lot of chances too, just like Frank Lampard did. So nothing has changed, but of course, Tuchel is a more experienced manager. He is a better he's better in man management skills, and he has shown that. And he has transformed Chelsea into a team where we play with a solid back five and with a double six. So if the teams try to press us high, there will be spaces behind the line, and then Timo Werner can make the run. So you
Right,
cannot.
sort of. Hold your horses. We'll discuss all that in the
Okay.
tactical segment.
So for
I
the
know.
first, okay. So for the second part of the question, of course, Lampard deserves a lot of credit, but I think not only Lampard, the manager who deserves similar credit, like a lot of credit too, is Mauricio Sarri. Of course, a lot of Chelsea fans don't like him. Like,
Yes.
in fact, when I first saw his football, I didn't understand what Sarri was trying to do. But now, when I look at the transformation of N'Golo Kante, okay, Kante has always been a great ball winner, but he has never been a good number 8, like a box to box. But if you look at Kante play now, Sarri played a huge role in the transformation of Kante, in development of Antonio Rudiger, and When Jorginho was playing, he was receiving a lot of black backslashes, and even the majority of the fans from our fan base still don't like him. So, but if you look at him play now, he's way more comfortable. And these two managers, Maurizio Sarri and Frank Lampard, because before Sarri came in, we played counter-attacking football for 5 6 years
Right,
under Jose Mourinho, under Antonio Conte, and then
right,
Sarri came in and he wanted to play vertical tiki-taka, which is a completely different concept from counter-attacking football.
right.
And vertical tiki-taka is more about the positional awareness. It's more about the spaces, not about the patterns of play. So he tried to change the system, and he needed a lot more time. So because the change
Right.
was happening, and this is why he received a lot of backslashes. And if he would have given the time, then probably Chelsea would have been a better side. But then he left for Juventus, so that didn't happen. But I think these two managers deserve a lot of credit.
Right. Pranav, going to you, Thomas Tuchel. How highly do you rate him as a manager who has? I know I absolutely admire him as a tactical genius. He's underrated in terms of that. He's not much spoken about. How much do Chelsea fans? What's the feeling between the commons of Chelsea fans of him being your manager? Are you guys actually lucky to have him? Do you consider him to be one of the best managers that has come to your club tactically in a post probably Jose Mourinho? Pranav.
I would say so that I highly rate him. I rate him up in the top 5 managers that have actually, seen Chelsea. Like he's transformed Chelsea in a way where he revived the team. Yes, he's humble, and also given the fact that he does give credit to Lampard post Lampard sacking, that the team that Lampard built, he gives full credit like for the team Lampard's built, and he supports that as well. The thing with Thomas Tuchel is I didn't admire him much when I was I saw him coach FC Mainz, and the way they won the Pokal, and then he shifted over to Dortmund, and then he became like very competitive with his team. And even Guardiola himself mentioned in an interview that I recently saw that this guy is smart. He's smarter than a lot of other people, a lot of other managers that I know of, because he doesn't miss out of the smallest of the smallest things. And that I've seen in his interview also, that what Thomas Tuchel does is he knows, even when he talks, he knows how he addresses the media, he knows how he addresses the players, he knows how what needs to be put forward when he pushes the players, he drives the players, I'm genuinely telling you, he revived the team that Lampard was kind of breaking up into smaller bits, because Lampard was very conditional. He was I would say a tunnel-minded kind of manager, where he wanted to sit back and have the consistent back four, midfield with Kante in the center, with a two striker role where you'll have a false number 9,
Right.
something like that. He tried to work around that. But Tuchel came in, he revived the players that were missing out. He gave them a chance. Those players took that opportunity and said, yes, we're not going to miss out on the opportunity on playing with the squad. I see a lot more chemistry built because of him. I see a lot more. I see very less, absolutely nil hate in the club, where players earlier, where you could see like when a player's getting subbed off, you'd get irritated. Like during Sari as well, the
Right.
most famous part where Kepa was trying, they wanted Kepa off so that Willy Caballero can come in and take part in the penalty shootouts. Luckily, Kepa stepped up to it. Otherwise, you could see there was a lot of backlash in the back. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening in the in the locker room. But he's done something different to this team. He's brought a lot of players together. The chemistry of the player, even when he's setting up the pieces, like I've noticed this, where when we play for FIFA 21, or if we play Pro Evolution Soccer, and we're making our dream 11, like even in when we're setting the players right, which chemistry fits where, he does
Yeah.
that well. He makes a team where he knows which player plays well with which player. He does that on the training field, and then he makes sure he does that on the pitch. That's where you can see, if you don't have any striker, you can rely on Havertz. Havertz is cool. Havertz has managed himself to come back into a squad where he couldn't fit. He managed to find his spot. Only a person like Tuchel could do that. Tuchel also knew that it was Werner's first season. We had high expectations of him. We wanted him to be a goal scoring machine where he's scoring 22, 24 goals a season. It's not possible. You can't do that. A player's coming from a different season. He doesn't understand the English physicality. He went up
Right.
against Burnley defenders whose average height is 6'2", 6'4". The player who's barely 5'9". You understand, like, he does not understand that. He does not understand the technicality and the physicality of the English Premier League. But Tuchel made sure that, you know what, let's not make use of his physicality or his goal scoring ability. Let's put him in a place where he can make the most out of him. His speed, that bugger can run through the lines. You put a long ball to him, he will run through the lines. He'll make sure he finds the other, his supporting player on the other side where they can tap in the goal. He's there. Yes, he's unlucky. I understand that Warner's been unlucky this season with a lot of offsides. Give him some time. He believes in his players. He believes in the squad. He then I would say he genuinely appreciates his backroom staff, his medical team,
Absolutely.
his squad. He's an all rounder, and I, as a Chelsea fan, I would love to see him next season where he signs his new contract, win the Champions League, or if not, I want him to be there so that he can take Chelsea to another level.
Right. Absolutely. Shanmuga, nice hearing the monologue from Pranav and sort of talking highly about their manager. But let's face it, Pep Guardiola has been branded the world's best manager for quite a long time now. And he has taken City to level that I know as a United fan, I'll get stick for saying this. David Moyes was sacked for saying this, that you aspire to be Manchester City. And that's the whole truth of it. The management, I know they spend, even United have spent close to you guys and we have achieved jack shit, primarily due to bad recruiting, primarily more due to lobbying in the Glazers, all that. City is a very well run club, won't you agree? Apart from the manager, Shanmuga, how much do you actually thank the management of the club, the other entities of the club, into making this club probably a serial winner and one of the heavyweights of the Premier League and probably for years to come? Shanmuga.
Exactly. So one answer would tell everything actually. So when the Manchester City board before 2010 decided to appoint Ferran Soriano from Barcelona, that's where everything started. They knew Pep Guardiola was the one who can bring them a stability to whatever dominance we can possibly achieve in the start of this decade that is going on. So that was the intent was already there. The route was already there. We appointed Ferran Soriano, then we got Tiski and both from Barcelona. And the intention was always to bring Pep Guardiola. Even when Pep left Barca, we had attempted to sign him earlier before he went to Munich, but Pep needed more time. So from there, intent is very clear. Even now, if you see our chairman gives the interview before for every season, he gives a preview, and in that preview, if you see, he emphasizes more on the league victory. The Premier League is very, very important. He doesn't talk much about winning the Champions League every season, go for it, and like that. He doesn't care about that. He wants consistency. So consistency will only be achieved when you are very good in the league, because UEFA
Right.
even having a bigger glory than winning the Premier League, it doesn't necessarily mean that is the toughest to do on a continuous basis. I'm saying, so it can deeply what be on use on moments or luck or sometimes. So that consistency, achieving that kind of a consistency is in the league. So we concentrated on the league every time we do, and that is what the management has done. They encourage the managers and players to go for the league. They do not mind whatever the result that is there in a cup competition. Cup competition, it is a bonus that I believe. That's why even if you see the latest interview of Pep Guardiola with Rio Ferdinand in BD Sports channel, so
Right.
Pep Guardiola said that the owner didn't want Pep to win Manchester Champions League with City. That was not the primary aim or whatever he has been brought on. So he was purely signed to bring a stability or maintain that kind of a level so that the future managers can come in and try to maintain that level. This is so hard. Whatever we have achieved in last 5 seasons under Pep Guardiola, it may seem fine now since Pep is the best coach in the world and all these things look very, very fine now. But say from 8 years or 10 years from now, and I don't know if I could even see such a thing being repeated 8 or 10 years later with a different kind of manager. I absolutely
Right.
believe that's not possible.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, go on.
Absolutely. So, words of high praises from Shanmugha over there. I'll cut you with that. Yeah, they cannot actually keep on hearing a manager's praise when half of the fan base of ours is stuck between Ole in or Ole out. But let's not make it a Man United show. Pradeep, I'll just hand it over from Shanmugha and pick it over to you. How much do you actually think that Pep Guardiola can rampage the Premier League? And with all the huckers and fuckers that the Premier League is not a one horse race, can you see it becoming a one horse race with Pep Guardiola at the helm? Because this Man City squad is young, is firing, is hungry. And we'll see probably if Harry Kane gets in, Obradipta, is it over for the rest of the division?
No. Anyways, Harry Kane is not happening anyway. So, so the first thing is like making Premier League as a one horse race. This season it was not like that. Like this season, I guess what maybe 5 6 teams were at the top spot, and then in between after Christmas or in the New Year, Man City took off. Like they took off, and other teams could not catch up. That's why the problem happened. But if you think about the 2017-18 season or 18-19 season, even the last year Liverpool, it was one horse race, but not this year. Like so from next year onwards, will it be a one horse race? Let's see. But as seeing the trends in Premier League down the years, I don't think it will be like it should not be one horse race. Come on. So it like one horse race is supposed to be tagged with like Bundesliga or La Liga or maybe League One. So yeah, and like coming into like Pep Guardiola's like what should I say? Tactical, like whether he's a tactical genius or something. I think like yeah, obviously he's a tactical genius. He is one of the best coaches around in the world. But as I say the last time in the podcast as well, whether he is a best manager in the world or not, that can be said if he is managing an international team, like national team, like Luis Enrique is doing. He's doing great in Spain. So let's see what he's doing. But in Man City, he is doing till now a great job. He will be doing some great jobs in next what 3 4 years. But I believe maybe if he can do some stability or bring some stability in the academy, maybe Man City academy, because the like if you think about England's national team, it's the academy that brings the players. It's not like the
Right.
foreigners will play for England national team. So ultimate goal of a particular country's league is to bring their national team to a world stage. So that's what the like. So Guardiola has to do something. Not Guardiola, but Tuchel or Ole or maybe Arteta should do something. Like should do something to their academy. I know they are doing, but hopefully that it will bring some homegrown player. Like for example, Foden or maybe Sancho or maybe Mason Mount or Hudson Odoi. I saw like how Hudson Odoi in front of me in YBK. He was great that time, but I don't know what happened to him. Like after Frank Lampard and all this saga, what happened? But I hope Guardiola will do something. Like will bring some homegrown talent, not selling to Dortmund or something, but keep them in Man City. And yeah, let's see. Let's see. Hope for the
Absolutely.
best. Maybe not like
Okay.
if I nail one point now, but right
Yeah.
now I guess how many English players are playing in Man City? Stones, like regulars, Stones, Walker. Yeah, that's it.
Phil
Maybe
Foden.
Stones
Phil
and Walker.
Foden.
You
Phil
you
Foden.
missed
Foden, yes,
Raheem
yes,
Sterling,
yes.
man.
Three,
Raheem
three.
the Dream.
Yeah, like, Phil
Raheem
Foden
Sterling.
is just a kid still.
Raheem Sterling.
No,
Raheem Sterling.
he's not.
Raheem the
He's
Dream.
not. He's going. He's going this year anyway. He's going.
He is absolutely
But yeah,
I
important.
don't.
like
He is
yeah, I
absolutely
think let's
important.
see.
Shanmuga,
Like
just
from
Shanmuga, just put your headphone closer to your mouth. You're echoing a bit
Okay.
when you will talk.
Okay.
Better. So okay, I'll take that from Abradip and I'll go to Pranav on this, Abradip, if you're done. And I'll
yep.
talk about that. I'll talk about the fact that you took upon that Mason Mount and Phil Foden, two homegrown players that we have many times discussed about them, but it's a final for both of them, and we expect both of them to start, right? So Pranav, I'll ask you this fact that two young British players full of promise, probably in the same place, probably played out wide, both of them. But do you think that whatever promise they have shown, they have been brilliant for club? Can they put it on to the country? And especially, are they vying for one spot in Gareth Southgate's 26-man final Euro squad? Pranav?
Phil Foden and Mason Mount both have lived up to their expectation. Um, Mason Mount has definitely lived up to his expectation purely because Lamps really believed in him. Lampard gave him the belief, the confidence of going out there and playing the football, basically the style of football that he likes. He's put him in the position where Mount really, perishes the most. He can, he can play the ball out wide. He can play through the middle. He can play defensive midfielder. He can play an attacking midfielder. He can play on the right wing, left wing. He can put in a perfect cross. He can take free kicks from 10 yards, 20 yards out. No wonder why he's named Chelsea Player of the Year. Why we've,
Absolutely.
as Chelsea fans, as Chelsea players, have voted him. I've seen so many interviews where they call him Mr. Chelsea solely for this reason, because he's lived up to the expectation of every Chelsea fan. And I think his performances have delivered. He has gotten himself into a place where even Gareth Southgate knows that he can't afford to lose Mason Mount, because Mason Mount brings a lot to the table. You have Phil Foden, on the other hand, is also very good on the ball. He's exceptional. I'm not going to take that away from him. The first touch on his ball is simply brilliant. He's Pep Guardiola. Guardiola has rated him the second most talented player apart from Messi. He just sees him as something else. We as Indians have missed out on seeing Phil Foden live when he had come to India for the World Cup. He was the captain and he delivered. Phil Foden is
Angel Gomez was the captain. Angel Gomez was the captain from United.
I think in
Phil
some
Foden
games
was the vice captain.
stepped up. I saw him stepping up as a captain in some games, but what I'm trying to say is in Gareth Southgate's provisional 26 or 28 and then the final 26-28, Phil Foden and Mason Mount definitely deserve a chance. They have definitely delivered. Phil Foden against Liverpool was absolutely sensational. He does these no-look passes, no-look shots. I think it's become a habit for him where he does that without even knowing. Mason Mount is just simply exceptional. The first touch where he takes on the ball and then he delivers it through the midfield is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love the way Mason Mount plays, and I want him to be at Chelsea. I think he's like a legend in the making. If you give him a number 8 shirt, people will start calling him another Frank Lampard, because I don't think Frank Lampard at his age has been able to deliver what Mason Mount has been capable of doing. Lampard, yes, he's a Chelsea legend, no doubt it. But I think Mason Mount has a lot to offer, and he's going to go really far. And luckily, touch wood, he's been like injury free, even though he's one of the most physical English players we have in our squad. He doesn't fear from getting into a tackle. He doesn't fear from getting into like a brawl even. He's an exceptional player. I feel
Absolutely.
Mason has done a commendable job at Chelsea.
Simran has a crush on Mason Mount. I'm sure of it. She says that I hope this English final doesn't turn out like the 1891. God cannot sit through that Bo slugfest that happened. Sort of, Mason, we have talked about Mason Mount pretty well. You and I both know how much I rate both of these players. But if you had to be Gareth Southgate, and if you had one spot, both of them probably are attacking midfielders capable of playing out wide. If you had to select one of them right now, based on current form, whom would you pick?
Jack Grealish.
Seriously,
Yeah.
sort of.
I mean, look, Southgate doesn't know what the formation would be because some people want him to play 4-3-3, but whether he will stick to the 3-4-3 that he is playing at the moment, because Gareth Southgate's assistant in the England job is Steve Holland, and Steve Holland worked at Chelsea, and he left before Antonio Conte's second season. So Antonio Conte played 3-4-3 at Chelsea in his first season, and then 3-5-2 in his second season. So Steve Holland kind of inherited the ideas of that 3-4-3, and then Southgate and Steve Holland made changes to that 3-4-3 to make England play like that. But if you look at the England side, I think both should start behind Harry Kane or whoever the striker is. Of course, Harry Kane will play because he's the captain. So because if you look at the England side, they have a squad who can play in tight areas. So you have a finisher like Harry Kane. So you don't need to think about a lot on making the striker drop and making him participate in the build-up. You need him up front as a advanced forward, not as a deep lying forward and continuously dropping. And if you play both, if you play Mason Mount and Phil Foden, both of them, because they are firstly the footing matters. One is left-footed, one is right-footed. Secondly, they both can play as a wide midfielders. They both can play as a number 10. They both can play as a number 8. And Mount can also drop and play as a number 6. So that 3-4-3 while defending can turn into a 3-5-1-1 or 3-5-2 with Foden and Harry Kane staying up front. And and when they make it a 3-5-2 with the 5 midfield, you can cover all 5 vertical spaces. If you make Mount drop, and if you want to stabilize defense, then you have players like Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, Jordan Henderson is there, and I think Jordan Henderson will play. So you have this type of players, and Jordan Henderson already plays for a team like Liverpool, where he has to beat the pressing, of opposition, because the duties of the midfielders of Liverpool are mostly to stop the counter from the opposition, so that they cannot launch it long. So you already have this type of players. So give Mount and Foden the freedom to play, and they can deliver. Because if you play, say, Sancho, for example, if you play Sancho, he's very good when he's starting wide and then cutting in. But England doesn't need someone who is starting wide and then cutting in, because they are already playing with 3 at the back and the wing backs will be wide. So you do not need the wing backs to cut in. You need already players who are at the center, and then they can drop, and then they have the freedom to move. So if you play Grealish, for example, he's a player who likes to drop a lot. But Mount isn't someone who is going towards the ball. Mount is someone who can also go away from the ball. So if you start both of them, they are very good match because of the footing and all the spatial arrangement that I just talked about. So I think both should start.
Sort of, as always, diplomatic. Shanmuga, I'll come to you with this. Shanmuga, Phil Foden is someone that it's talked about high regard in this country, on the likes of Mason Greenwood, likes of Jack Grealish, has sort of mentioned. Mason Mount is already there. But the fact that probably he eclipses, and it's my opinion that he eclipses all of them. Sort of been diplomatic about the fact. I understand why. But Shanmuga, would you think that Phil Foden is actually someone who is generational, and we dare call him that, Shanmuga?
Yeah, so Phil Foden is generational.
Mike.
Yeah, so Phil Foden is absolutely generational, I believe. So if you ask me to pick anyone, I'll definitely choose Phil Foden over Mason Mount. So Mason Mount can be playing the same attacking positions as Phil Foden is, but he now plays a different role in Chelsea. He is a bit deeper, whereas Phil Foden plays very much advanced in a Pep Guardiola system. So that kind of, when it comes to, there is a slight difference in how they are playing for each of their clubs. So if you ask, in the England setup, Phil Foden is a must start, I would say. And in the midfield, there is already Jordan Henderson and Declan Rice to start. I think Southgate is going to go with 4-2-3-1 in this Euro. So those two midfields are there. Mason Mount can start only in one of those double pivots, I believe. So the front four is going to be more attacking, and that's where Phil Foden is a must start, if you ask me. And coming to the generational part, like Pep Guardiola, like Pranav said, he rates Phil Foden as the best ever 17-year-old kid he has seen. So when he was 17-year-old, Pep Guardiola made that comment actually, which is now getting talked about much. So yeah, so like you said, like even if you see the players interview and everything, uh, if we ask who is Pep Guardiola's son, that was a question that was asked to Ilkay Gundogan, and he said directly it is Phil Foden. So that's much of a rapport Phil Foden is having with Pep Guardiola, and there are so many rumors as well. Like Phil Foden is not settled, is not getting enough minutes with under Pep, and Pep doesn't know how to get the best out of thing. Phil Foden should be following what Sancho did, like he has to go outside, and all those petty things are gone, long gone now, and Phil Foden is now starting a Champions League final. So I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. Pradeep, I'll go to you on this one on the same thing. Since Shanmuga is done, Shanmuga, you stop holding your mic like that. You can hold the trophy afterwards if you want to practice. Pradeep, very very quickly, because we need to pick up the pace right now. We have been talking about Pep Guardiola's and Thomas Tuchel's two prodigal sons, and it's almost been 35 minutes. Other segments as well. Very quickly, Mason Mount, how much does he scare you? Being a Man City fan, because he has been pulling strings at this moment of time. With respect to experience, would you actually put Mason Mount ahead of Phil Foden, Dada?
Uh, See, like first thing is, I fear not Mason Mount, but that Hakim Ziyech. Is he playing or I don't know. So okay, so anyways, but seeing in the England lineup and seeing the Southgate's like his tactical genius, should I say, I don't think most. I think both of them will not start anyway. So it will be like a double pivot as he's saying. I guess Anand is saying, and it will be like Henderson or Declan Rice or Eric Dyer, and in the wings maybe it's like be like Jadon Sancho maybe, and that pumped butt, what we say, Sterling. So he's like Southgate's girlfriend. That should say anyway. So these two players are like what 20 and 21, I guess now. So maybe in the next year's World Cup they might hold a chance because these Hendersons, these people might go. So they might get a chance as like what do you say, as a cam or center midfield maybe. But right now in this Euro, I don't think they might come as a substitute maybe. But I think it should be first Mason Mount should come because he's obviously like he's like a Chelsea's footballer of the year, so some respect to him. So and then maybe Foden. Yes, he's talented. Like he's maybe like Pep is saying he's talented because he's under him and he doesn't want to lose him. Like he lost Jadon Sancho now biting his nails because he's coming back to Manu maybe. But let's see. Hope I guess both of them should not start. Maybe Mount as a substitute, then maybe Foden.
Okay. Simran says Euro जीतने France जीतने वाला है. Fans of any other nation, including me, just be ready for heartbreaks. Simran, I believe in Copa America supremacy, so I'll be waking up at 5 and watching Brazil winning it again. You've had four Copa America had 4 tournaments in around 6 years or 5 years. Still, some blue side could not win it, even though it's all blue over here. It's sky blue and deep blue, which is, by the way, a color of any random nation that I don't know. I believe in yellow supremacy. Okay, going back to the next part of the segment very quickly because we have to pick up the pace. Question for Chelsea fans. We'll start with Pranav as usual. Pranav, this gentleman, Timo Werner. We have discussed how it's Timo Werner that he had to be nervous. Tuchel coming up with his pre-match jokes, talking about that he needs to wait for it, like a woman waits for the like he confused all of those dates into the thing. Yeah, friends reunion. I'm still stuck in that crap. But then again, Timo Werner is a very good player. Timo Werner has proved himself in the elite, in one of the elite clubs of Europe, even though Bundesliga is a one-horse race. But I do believe Timo Werner will come good next season. That's without doubt. Would you actually believe that this is probably Timo Werner's time and that he could have a redemption arc, scoring tonight, not jinxing, scoring tonight and proving all of his haters wrong, like the Torres moment that you guys had? You say that history repeats. Do you think something is on the agenda tonight, Pranav?
I was just
Shortly,
gonna say,
very short.
I think you just stole it off my mouth. Where I was gonna say, if he scores, it's gonna be like Torres, where he's done it. He's done it for all Chelsea fans, where we believed in him, and I see. Honestly, I really wish the best for him. I have a lot of Chelsea friends and a lot of Chelsea fans that actually don't like the amount of times Werner's been in the starting 11, and they say that he doesn't score goals. He's always caught offside. He doesn't run enough. Through the line. He doesn't have the perfect timing. With offside being the main thing. I've always kept my belief in him, and I'll always keep my belief in him. I do want him to do well, and if he scores tonight, yes, it's going to be redemption. It's going to be one of those moments where he's, paid for every penny that he's, worked in. And I genuinely want him to do well. I want him to score tonight, and I want him to, if not score, at least assist. I mean, the game that we played against Real Madrid, Timo Werner actually stepped up. He was given enough chances. Yes. The first half, the first leg, we hated him. He missed an absolute sitter where we could have capitalized. We had actually more than one chance. We had over 6 chances to actually finish it off, but we didn't take it. But in the second game, you could see, yeah, he did step up to the occasion. Even during the Leicester game, I wouldn't say the finals, but when we played against Leicester at home in front of the fans, he did step up. Yes, he was caught a couple of offsides. He was caught offside a couple of times, but he still stepped up to the occasion. He doesn't give up. He will still, I would say he's like one of those players that is absolutely resilient, that will not give up regardless. And I think this mentality of his, he'll carry it with him in the season coming ahead. He himself said, "Yeah, I'm a winger. I'm not a striker that's been brought into the club to score so many goals." Right? I also knows this. Thomas Tuchel also knows this. As every Chelsea fan, we just want him to score. We wanted another Raheem Sterling, because at one given point in time, Sterling was scoring 17 goals and bagging 17 assists. He was Man City Player of the Year in 2018 and 19. He was one of, I don't know which year though, but he was shining for Man City. He had the maximum number of goals as a winger. He had the maximum number of assists as a winger.
Right.
He did exceptionally well, and that's what ideology we thought Werner would bring in, thinking, he'll score goals, he'll do all the hard work, mehnat, and he'll also get assists. And no, it doesn't work like that. He found Lampard's system hard. Thomas Tuchel came in, changed the entire formation, made sure that the Germans could work. One of the primary reasons why Thomas Tuchel was brought in, so that these Germans could work. We wanted Kai Havertz to work. We wanted Timo Werner to work, and he made sure he could make the most of it. And he understood that English football is not easy. You can't even, and I'm not even kidding, I'm not even denying this. If you have a closer look to the tier 2 of the English Premier League, where you have what's it called? Yeah, I'm forgetting the name.
The championship.
The championship. Yeah, the championship has how many teams? 24.
24 teams.
24 teams. It's the most competitive league. Even Premier League teams also are, yes, they're the elite, creme de la creme. But the championship teams it's a very tough tournament. Even if you put Werner in one of those tournaments, he's not going to perform that well. Not in his first season. It's a very competitive league, and then he stepped up to an elite league. English Premier League is the most physical league in Europe. It's the most. It's a toughest league. It's the Premier League is counted as the best league amongst Serie A, La Liga, League One. And if you look at it, yes, there's a reason why we are where we are, because right now we have 2 English teams in the final.
Absolutely.
Right. Werner is going to stand up to the occasion. I'm hoping, as a Chelsea fan, I want him to. I don't think Saurav will, because Saurav is still going to say men will score. And every time he says that, it works like a charm. And I'm believing in him because the superstition lives long. But I genuinely want him to stand up to the occasion. Next season, Werner will be bagging a lot of goals. We're going to have a lot of changes. In midfield, we probably, and I hope we get Harry Kane, but I don't think that'll happen, because Man City are the only team that can afford him. But we do need a striker, and we do need a central midfielder and a centre back. That's it. We fill that, we're good.
Absolutely. Very quickly going to Shanmuga, we have to wrap things up pretty quick because the tactical analysis segment is still waiting, and I can see Saurav very disappointed. Shanmuga, very quickly, this gentleman is he is playing the last game for his Manchester City colours. And when he came to Manchester City, there was talks about him leaving. And he said that I'll win the Champions League for Manchester City, then I leave. And as circumstances have it, the poets of football have conspired, and we have got such a situation. So, Shanmuga, would you actually think that this is the perfect send off for him, lifting yet another trophy for Manchester City? Like, some things are written in the cards, isn't it? Very quickly, Shanmuga.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. So I don't think he will start. Of course, he won't start. If we are winning like 2-0, 3-0 with some 3 or 4 minutes left, then he will get a courtesy appearance. That's it. Other than that, I don't think he would start. I don't think he would even come off the bench, even if you're a goal down. So that's how it is. But is this going to be a biggest send off for him if we go on and win it? Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. What, like, he is Mr. Manchester City for a reason, right? Okay, so we'll bring the tactical analysis segment here. Saurav's eyes has lit up. Abrodidda says, Aguero, I swear you haven't seen anything like this before. Still, we will do it. He says that on the private chat. I said him, but that was one of the most heartbreaking moments. But as a neutral, as a professional right now, it is something that I do admire, and it is something that Premier League is an all-time classic. And definitely, he will go in becoming a legend of. He will become a Hall of Famer. Okay, the tactical analysis segments are out, so let's bring it up on screen. Saurav, it's your cue. Saurav, this is something that we have discussed before. This is something that we have definitely discussed before, and the high position that Chilwell plays. Do you think that even though he got a goal ruled off, Timo Werner got a goal ruled off due to VAR, would you think that this is something of a recurring trend with the fullbacks at Chelsea? They attack too much. They're too much dependent on the fullbacks, sort of.
No, because there are two phases with which Chelsea plays. One is the build-up phase, and one is when you have already penetrated up to opposition's half. So when during the build-up phase, there is a three. So when we have a three midfielders, Mendy pushes high up a bit and comes outside the 6-yard box. Inside the penalty box, the 6-yard box, it comes out outside of the 6-yard box and acts as a, you can say, supporting center back. So say Thiago Silva is at the center, Rudiger on the left half space, and so Espilicueta, if he's playing as a right center back, then he's on the right half space. So if the ball is if Rudiger has the ball, for example, then Thiago Silva will be close to him, and then the distance between Thiago Silva and Espilicueta will increase a lot. This is where Mendy comes in, and he acts as a supporting center back so that Thiago Silva can pass to him, and then he can pass to Espilicueta. And this is the concept behind Tuchel's game, is that the passes do not, you cannot pass 15 meters or 20 meters or 30 meters. The passes have to be 5 to 10 meters or even less than that, 2 to 3 meters. So when we are building up, we are wide and we want to attract the press. And this is where Werner comes in, because if opposition is coming towards you, there is space behind the lines and behind their last line of defense. This is where Werner comes in. This is where Thiago Silva can launch the long balls. And when we have penetrated opposition's half, then the fullbacks can stay wide, and we have a solid 5 up front with Mount and whoever is playing as the other number 10 in the half spaces, center forward at the center, and the wing backs on the wings. And then we have a solid 5 at the back with the 2 number 6 in the half spaces and the 3 behind them. So this is where the fullbacks comes in. When we have penetrated opposition's half, like the picture you was showing right now, we have already penetrated the opposition's half there. Like we are just outside the penalty box. So this is where the fullbacks come in, and this is where the center backs can pick their runs with the long ball. So fullbacks are part of the system, but we are not over dependent on them or under dependent on them. If we are over dependent on a particular position, then that has to be the number 10. So it matters a lot on in which game there is a single number 10 or double number 10, because if there is a single number 10, then he will play centrally in the zone 14, and if there are 2 number 10s, then there will be half spaces, and then the center forward will need to drop in the center. So that,
like as you see the center forward dropping over here in this picture.
Yes, and Warner likes that. Warner doesn't want, when we are in opposition's half, Warner doesn't want to make runs behind the defense. Warner will make the run when we are in our half and trying to build up from the back, and the opposition as City can keep a high line. So then there can be balls behind. if we are already in opposition's half, then there cannot be balls behind through the center. Then we have to go wide, and this is where the fullbacks come in. So this is why Warner can drop it to the center when we are in opposition's half, and you can see that the center forward is dropping here.
Absolutely. Okay, sorry to stop your progress right now. The team news is out. I'll just share the screen and read it out for you guys. I know you're anxious. So this is the team that Manchester City has put in. Ederson starts on goal. I'll just put the lineup banner. Just okay. Ederson starts on goal. Kyle Walker, John Stones, Ruben Diaz. Zinchenko starts in left back. Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva starts. No Rodri. That's quite a bit of a surprise. Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling will rotate as hell in the front line. Still no place for Gabriel Jesus or farewell king Sergio Aguero, as discussed. So Mendy on goal for Chelsea. Reece James actually plays. Probably it will be Aspilicueta playing in that position. One football. We know how one football. I love one football. So Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger in the defense. Reece James and Golo Kante, Jorginho, Ben Chilwell, quite expected from Chelsea. Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner. Pulisic misses out, so that's something which will be debatable. Hakim Ziyech misses out, that is something also debatable. We'll leave the lineup reactions to you. I'll talk about more of the lineup and its reactions in the watch along. But moving back to the tactical segment, Obradipta, I'd like to ask you this. That I'll show you the slide. So this is the one. This is the one I'll ask you about. This is the one that you guys played versus PSG, right? See how deep PSG were, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because PSG play a back three, quite similar with high fullbacks with regards to Chelsea, right? So you see how the pressing Bernardo Silva plays, probably because he is one of the great pressers in that Pep Guardiola team. Similar kind of a setup that you can see over here. Kevin De Bruyne there, Gundogan there, no Rodri in that centre back. Kind of a similar lineup that he has put forward. So Thomas Tuchel from his Chelsea days, from his PSG days, coming on to Chelsea days, something of a repeat can you see from Pep Guardiola with his side selection that we just saw?
Yeah, I guess Guardiola knows how to penetrate this deep defense lineup. Like if you have like three defense, like I don't like this three defense kind of thing. And whenever Man City plays with it, he lost. But on the contrary, whenever opponent plays, they knows how to penetrate these particular thing because they have this wingers who keeps on going up and down and going inside, cutting inside with like. Coming to this particular slide, if you see Silva and Mahrez, these two players, like they that day also they were very critical for the comeback, right? So they kept on pressing the defensive midfielders, then coming forward to press the Kimpembe and the other player, like I guess Guea, something like that. Because
Hmm.
obviously Marquinhos was he was something like what a wall cannot be shaken. So they kept on shaking up the other walls, like the other center backs, and that worked. But I think the two goals that they scored were somewhat lucky because De Bruyne's was a cross and another one was I don't know how it squeezed in. So, anyways, but let's see. I'm like again like what Pep thinks. He like the assassin of FPL. Whatever he thinks, I hope it might work. I hope, and yeah, let's hope for the best. But yeah, so coming down to this, I guess this Chelsea thing. I guess this is from the second leg. I guess right, second leg of Premier League.
Yes,
Right,
yes, the
right,
one where Pep Guardiola made a crazy formation.
right.
But
Exactly.
but it's the
That
shape. It's again the shape that what Saurav said. How look how wide their fullbacks are. They try to
exactly.
isolate City, and because they put in narrow,
The,
isn't it?
yeah.
See the
So they
Cancelo's position. It's in bang on in midfield.
midfield exactly. So they should come like they should start attacking Alonso, like not giving him enough space because they like it's a war between position football and counter attacking football, and that
Right.
day it won, and on 3rd January like position won like somehow. But in this particular lineup, I don't feel comfortable with it because whenever this lineup played, they tend to like conceding early counter-attacking goals, and they could not come back because Pep Guardiola doesn't have a plan B. Obviously, he doesn't have a plan B anyway. So
Whom better than Manchester United fans to exploit that? Come on. Oh yeah, I said it.
Exactly. So yeah. So I think let's hope. I guess like I'm a bit relaxed now because seeing the lineup it's like 4-3-3 like the original lineup. But I don't want Sterling because I thought it will be again a false line formation with
Right,
De Bruyne in place of Sterling and Rodri in place of De Bruyne in midfield, right?
right.
So yeah, let's see. Let's hope for the best. I hope Sterling do something, some miracle. He gets his form back before Euro. Hope.
Let's hope. Okay, due to the dearth of time, we'll take in the predictions very quickly. I'm sure everybody has the tactical innuendos fulfilled. Start with Saurav. Saurav, your prediction. I know your prediction. What's going to be still for the viewers out here? What's going to be your prediction? Oh, Saurav, you were on mute. You yourself put
Sorry.
yourself on mute.
Sorry
Yeah,
for
please.
that. Andy will score. Chelsea will win 1-0. It's the
Saurav with
last
his
day. It's the last day. If it works, okay.
Saurav always with his jinx. Pranav, would you still go with a Mendy score or something pragmatic?
It'll, it's gonna go into extra time. It's gonna be a 1-1 game, and I'm assuming by the end of it, Chelsea is gonna have the upper hand. Chelsea has the depth. They have the squad that can play. And I feel even if we go into extra time, we've got enough substitutions to make. So I'm hoping it's gonna be a 2-1.
Absolutely. I'll ask Shanmuga this. Shanmuga, would you think that would you agree with that? This is going to be something of a stalemate going into extra time, or do you think that this? I think that this is going to be a KG match for starters. But do you think Pep Guardiola has been very good in KG matches and that he has ripped away sides that? What do you think? I'm totally confused actually. Shanmuga, take it away.
Before the lineup was there, I thought Fernandino was going to start. So if that was there, then I think it is going to be you wait and I hit kind of a match. So even Manchester City would allow Chelsea to have more ball and then try to attack on counter. That's what I would have. I was thinking, but no Fernandinho, no Rodri. That means Pep Guardiola is going for the kill from minute one. So I think it is going to be a bit more open in the first half, especially. And I don't know if it's all about Gundogan being CDM. See, imagine just Ilkay Gundogan is the best goal scorer for us this season, and he plays CDM in the Champions League final. It's just crazy. Okay, and anyway, I think my prediction is going to be 1-0 for Manchester City, and probably that will be a penalty.
You wish you had Bruno Fernandes, but I'll keep you to it.
We are Mayres. The whole country is behind us. Algerian fans will tell you enough.
Okay, last prediction of the night, Obrodipta. No, Gundogan was actually limping off as
Yeah,
what
exactly. Yeah.
and again mind games by Pep Guardiola. Gundogan starts with the most pivotal role for Manchester City tonight, and there's no Rodri who has been immense, no Fernandinho who has been immense for a long time right now. So against the likes of Conte and likes of Jorginho, who's going to be running riots for the Chelsea midfield. Do you think that Pep missed a trick, or as Shanmuga said, Pep is going for the kill from minute one? What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know who will snatch the ball now because they don't have a CDM here. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's thinking something else, which I don't know because obviously he's like hashtag FPL assassin. So whatever we think and whatever we think and create a team, he will just dynamically changes it altogether. So, but yeah, let's see. Because I thought Gundogan might not play because I was seeing that pre-match training session of 1 hour. There he was limping off because they were playing and he like I guess Zinchenko crossed and he just went for a head and he just I don't know what happened. But let's see. Let's see. My prediction maybe like 3-1 to City, but Chelsea scoring early.
3-1 is quite a bold prediction. If you ask me, since this is not a Manchester United match and I've done jinxing for the United matches that I've covered, I think this is going to be the start of the match is going to define what's going to be held in us. As if Chelsea scored early, they will have the dearth of position, and if City try to clutch in, and Tuchel, since he's a very good tactician, he'll know that how to destroy this Manchester City side. He'll take notes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's book that we have consistently defeated Manchester City. Otherwise, banters apart, you know how to defeat Manchester City, and Chelsea probably have set up that way. Jorginho and Kante will try to sit back in that midfield and the three attacking quarter trio with the wing backs. So I think the start of the game is what defines, or else don't want another snooze fest. By the way, thanks all of you. Thanks Pranav. Thanks Pradipta. Thanks Shanmuga. Thanks sort of for joining in. There is a watch along, by the way, from 12 o'clock that I'll be doing. I'll be covering until the end of the match. And by the way, those of you are planning to donate, those of you are planning to super chat on that, I'd just like to mention that every donation that you give on my channel will be going straight to charity for the Yes Cyclone Relief Fund. I have the watch alongs link in the description. I'll start there. You know the Paytm number, you know the Google Pay number. I'll just display it once more. This is the number you can donate to. Everything goes from tonight to charity. Everything you guys donate goes on to charity for the Yes Relief Cycle. So I hope that you guys join in the watch along. All of you, I want to see all of you in the comment section in the watch alongs. And I hope your beers and I hope your grubs are ready. Let's hope for the epic match, the season finale, the curtains for the domestic season as we look on to Euros. Pranav, sort of best of luck for the London Blues, and Shanmuga and Obrodipta, best of luck for on behalf of a noisy neighbor from your end. Let's hope the best team wins. That's what you can expect. Thank you for joining in. We'll see you next season, and thank you all for joining in with this season for Podcast with Neil. Do join in on the watch along. It's in the link. It's linked in the description. Simran, no tension final. Hopefully a good match. Simran बहुत tension कर रही थी last time when Real Madrid were in. Remember, Pranav was also there in that podcast. So thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you on next season. Podcast with Neil will be back with the club matches better than ever. Bye bye guys. Best of luck.